Pahlavi text translated by E.W. West. Part 3. Dinai Mainogi Khirad. Clarendon, Oxford University Press, 1885. Chapter 36. The sage asked the spirit of wisdom thus, which sin is the more heinous? The spirit of wisdom answered thus, of the sin which people commit, unnatural intercourse is the more heinous. The second is he who has suffered or performed intercourse with men. The third, who slays a righteous man. The fourth, who breaks off a next of kin marriage. The fifth, who destroys the arrangement of an adopted son, Sator. The sixth, who smites the fire of Bahram. The seventh, who kills a water bearer. The eighth, who worships an idol. The ninth, who believes and wishes to worship in every religion. The 10th, who consumes anything which is received into his custody and becomes an embezzler. The 11th is he, through sinfulness, provides support for wickedness. The 12th, who does no work but eats unthankfully and unlawfully. The 13th, who commits heresy, Zandiki. The 14th, who commits witchcraft. The 15th, who commits apostasy, Ahar Moki. The 16th, who commits demon worship. The 17th, who commits theft or abetting, Ava Gidi of thieves. The 18th, who commits promise breaking. The 19th, who commits maliciousness. The 20th, who commits oppression, to make the things of others his own. The 21st, who distresses a righteous man. The 22nd, who commits slander. The 23rd, who commits arrogance. The 24th, who goes to a professional courtesan. The 25th, who commits ingratitude. The 26th, who speaks false and untrue. The 27th, who causes discontent as to the affairs of those who are departed. The 28th, whose pleasure is from viciousness and harassing the good. The 29th, who considers sin as to be urged on, and a good work as a day's delay. And the 13th, who becomes grieved by that happiness which is provided by him for anyone. And that was 33 verses. And in verse 32, work is a day's delay. It's doubtful whether Sipong, a halting place, or Sipo, setting aside to be read, but the meaning is practically the same. In verse 30, who are departed, L19 has secluded and departed, similar to chapter 37:23. The 26th, who speaks false and untrue, are irreverent, according as we read Arasto or Anasto. 27, who goes to professional courtesan. Such appears to be the meaning of Zanoi Karan. L19 has Zan-i Kasan, the wives of others. Okay, I was going to say it's not just company, it's but it's not necessarily the wife of others, just a woman who's a professional at that, right? Verse 21, who commits promise breaking or breach of contract, which is why I don't support a particular side in a war that's going on while this is being filmed. Verse 19, who commits demon worship, as the verb in verse 23 can apply in Pahlavi to any number of preceding sections. It is omitted in K43, as in 19 to 22, and the 20. So demon worship, abetting of thieves, promise breaking, maliciousness is not in that one. The verb is also omitted in K43 in 25 for a similar reason. And 25 is the slander one. Apostasy, Ahar Moki, from the Avestan Ashima Oga, disturbing righteousness. You know, Asham is the chief demon, so basically the Satanist in action. Niryosang adds in Sanskrit, that is, having thoroughly known the meaning of the Avesta, he becomes deceived. Heresy, Zandiki. The term Zandik, according to Masaudi, chapter 24, was first applied to the Manichaeans, and afterwards to all others who followed the commentary Zand in preference to the Avesta. In most religious communities, people end up following the commentary over the actual thing. It's like fundamentalist Christians are very, very hard to come by, because virtually every church there's going to be something where you disobey the Bible in preference to, the church's opinion. Finally, however, the Arabs applied the term to the Persians, probably with its acquired meaning of heretic or infidel. Well, Islam doesn't have reference, doesn't call people infidel because they're a different faith or something. A different explanation of the term is given in the Pahlavi, Yasna 60, verse 11, where it's stated that a Zand is the apostle of the wizards, and through Zand it is possible to perform witchcraft, working with the demons. Sometimes this is not directly in knowledge of that the demons are involved, or you think you're controlling them rather than treating them as deities. The Sanskrit version adds here, and that is, he thinks well of the Harman and the demons, and in PA 10 it continues thus, the atheist religion, the wicked way that there is no creator, there is no heaven, there is no hell, there is no resurrection, and so on, such is the meaning. And L19 has falsehood instead of wickedness in verse 14. And verse 10, the water, Bi'ayir, okay, the Ba Prakoi Avik is the Avestan, Bauris, Upapo, with whose skins Ardvisura, the angel of water, is said to be clothed. Abanyast 129, it is said to have been created in opposition to the demon, which is it, the water, Sibunda His, 1929, whether it is the same as the Avestan Udra Upapa, water otter, is not quite certain, but killing the latter was considered for some reason, not clearly ascertained, a very heinous sin, for which the proper atonement is fully detailed in Vendadad 14. Fire of Varahram, verse 9, mentions the sacred fire named after the angel Varahram or Vahram. See chapter 2, 115. Destroys the arrangement of an adopted son, Sator. If a man is not appointed an adopted son during his lifetime and leaves property producing an income of 84 rupees or more, but no privileged wife or child, or domesticated brother fit for the duty of guardianship, then an adopted son must be appointed by the nearest relations after his death. See Dedistani Danik 56 to 50, chapters 56 to 60. And see chapter 4, number 4, the next of kin marriage thing, are that appendix with the last book. Kvetudad.